And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with rock cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup right next to Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We have a great guest in our studio here. Captain Taro Takeuchi from the Liberty is here, and we're going to be talking some fishing. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice, Let's Talk Hookup, on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Going to be a great time talking fishing today.
Yes, indeed. Captain Taro Takeuchi, Liberty Sport Fishing. Good morning, Taro.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah, great. Yeah, well, you're ready to go.
Oh, we're ready. We're so ready.
Yeah, definitely. We just need that clearance from that county doctor to say go. And that's the thing, is there is a great plan in place, right?
Yeah, SAC has done a great job, and then Ken from SAC has been helping us out and representing us, and we're just ready. I mean, things are shaping up on the ocean, and we're wishing we could go.
There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to go.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just there's no excuses from them to say you can't go fishing, because it's time to go fishing.
It is definitely time.
Yeah.
I mean, the boat is ready, the landing is ready, the facility is right. I mean, it's just when the second that they say go, it's game on.
So how will things be once they say go? How will things be different on the Liberty?
On the Liberty, everyone's gonna have to have a face mask, obviously.
All right.
I definitely believe our loads will be a tad bit smaller.
Yep.
We'll deeply clean the boat even more than what we already do, and I don't believe the bunks will be will be available to use when we're operating. But just the small little things, and just every person's just gonna have to be just a tad bit more conscious of the social distancing rules.
Yes.
So it's just one of those things where people are going to have to kind of adjust to the things we have to do, but there really aren't any for sure set rules on what we have to do and set guidelines, but there's just looking at what the other businesses have had to do. We're going to have a face mask, and everyone's going to have to be real cautious.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, we would take that. If they would say go along those lines, having your face covering, a couple less people on the boat, no bunks, just, as far as getting things started, tomorrow, no problem. I mean,
and then what it really is, it's going back to how we used to do things without bunks. And, bunks for us have kind of been a luxury for our 3/4 day or our full day trips now.
Yeah.
But you go back to the stand up, and in the galley there might only be a handful of folks that kind of are allowed in there, and you're standing at the rail, you're hanging out, and
that's the one thing about the Liberty. It's big. I mean,
Yeah.
There's plenty of room to do
Plenty
that.
of room to hang out.
But for real, I mean, that's one of the things you really have going for you is, there is a lot of room to spread out on that boat.
Yeah.
It's big
Yeah.
and it's comfortable and it's stable. And
Oh yeah, for sure. And when you put the boat online, it sells out pretty quickly.
It does, and unfortunately, we have had to cancel our trips, which we're very sorry for our passengers that have signed up. And it's, I'm looking at our Instagram and Facebook. It's like, well, why can't we go? Why can't we do this? Well, what it comes down to is the insurance policies, and we just don't have the green light.
Yeah.
And every trip that we put on that seems that they want to go and as that date gets closer, it's full, and people are ready.
yeah.
Yeah,
People
you
are
could go
ready.
Renegade and you could just leave the dock and say, we're going. But you can't do that
No.
because the insurance won't cover it.
Exactly.
And you can't run without
Exactly.
insurance.
And this has been through a lot of thought in kind of in my mind. Every day is a different day, and things are changing as far as our rules and politically and stuff like that. But our sport fishing family is so tight, so
Yes.
it's like once one person does one thing, everybody sees the benefit or the repercussions.
Yes.
So we're just all real tight, and we're all playing by the rules right now, and we're all just waiting.
Yeah, just
you know,
waiting. But
grasping on.
while waiting, the fish are waiting out there.
The fish are waiting. Yes, they are.
There's a lot of fish out there. I know you've investigated a lot of the keeping it on top of all the reports and stuff. What do you hear?
I have quite a few of our passengers and friends that we have small boats, and holy smokes, those bluefin are just frothing at the mouth right here, right in our range.
That's what is making this so much harder. Like every day at the landing, it's so much harder. I mean, you see the look on poor Taro's face or the crew. Coronado Islands, yellowtail biting, bluefin 20 to 50 miles bite, like all of the things that the Liberty
Yellowfin tuna.
Yeah, right.
Everything that we can do.
The thing that the Liberty is
happening.
so good at is just like it's at our fingertips, and it's just I can't
And
quite
then
taste it.
that's what's making it so
Oh,
hard.
the worst.
Is you want something, but you can't get it.
Yeah.
But
soon.
We're crossing our fingers for soon. There isn't a definite date, but I know that the people that are supposed to be working are working hard to help us get back out there.
And their justifications for getting back out there are good. I mean, if you can go on a city bus, if you can go on an airplane, various things. Why not an open air boat that is about as safe as it can, safer than walking down the sidewalk?
Or going to the grocery store.
Yeah,
or going to the grocery store.
There is no way you can draw up an analogy where, like, riding on a plane with 50 other people breathing recycled air is safer than being on the Liberty in the open catching a bluefin. Like, those two things just don't exist.
That doesn't happen. The justification is certainly there, and we're hoping that
absolutely
the powers to be come to their senses very soon.
Right.
That's what needs to happen for sure. So in the meantime, give us a clue on what the Liberty is. I mean, a lot of our listeners may be very familiar with Liberty, some of them not. So
we're an 85 foot open party fishing vessel, which were also available for charter And our primary run is a 5:30 in the morning to sometimes 5 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
Usually later.
Yeah, right.
Depending on
Usually
where the fish are, right?
Yeah, depending on how they're biting and where they're and kind of the distance of where the fish are. But we leave at 5:30 in the morning, and we're back between 5 and 7 at night on a daily basis. But like I said, we're also available for charter. We do everything from the full day trip to a 2-day trip. So throughout the year, and mainly in the summertime, our schedule changes a tad bit. We do our charters and stuff like that. But open party wise, you can call it Fisherman's Landing and book an open party 3/4 day or full day trip. It's still stuck in my mind, a 3/4 day trip.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a 3/4 day, full day slash.
Exactly. Yeah? You're pretty much going to be there from sun up to sundown.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Yeah.
And so you're currently taking charter. If you want to book a charter, do you call Fisherman's Landing?
You can call Fisherman's Landing, or you can email us at libertysportfishingsd@gmail.com. And that is a direct line to myself, and I'll be working with the charter masters to work on dates and prices and stuff like that. So
what a great boat to charter too.
Yeah.
How many people is a nice charter group?
I would say a great charter group, since the idea of a charter is to have the whole boat to yourself. You kind of want to have a lighter load than our open party trip. So 25 to 35 is great. 40
Nice.
The boat fishes 40 to 50 great too.
Yeah.
But for 25 to 35 of your best friends and family right now, the boat is awesome.
That's the thing about the Liberty. It's just big. It's big everywhere. I mean, up the sides, it's big, and the back of the boat is huge, and the newly remodeled galley is big, and the bathrooms are big. I mean, there's nothing about that boat that's not that way. It's so comfortable.
Yeah.
Everything will fit your group, no
like you
problem.
said, I mean, the reality is it's an 80 or 85 foot 2-day boat that happens to run 5 to 5 trips. I mean, that's what it is. It's a multi-day RSW, nice bathroom, big multi-day boat that happens to do these awesome local trips.
So you do RSW, refrigerated salt water for the fish.
Yep, we've taken everything that this fleet has to offer. Fortunately, I've worked for Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella, for 9 years when they had the American Angler, and just learning the quality and keeping your fish fresh and bringing everything from a long trip over to the 3/4 day scene, which is a common occurrence now on all the full day trips. So it's kind of bringing the small things from each part of this sport fishing world and putting it into one boat, and that's what we've tried to do there on the Liberty.
So it's like long range style. Tag your fish and
tagging fish. Put them down in the hole. Keeping them cold and
nice.
28 to 32 degree fish at the end of the day, ready for sushi when you get home.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
good.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so much stuff. So Taro, if you were leaving the dock this morning in the Liberty, what would you be doing? Would you be going to the Coronado Islands? Would you go on bluefin tuna fishing, yellowfin tuna fishing?
I think we would be taking advantage of the offshore opportunity. There's been the guys that have been going, the smaller boats and the private boats have had very, very good opportunity on that. Call it 40 to 100 pound plus fish, and that's kind of what is available here, and you kind of try to take advantage of it because it's not there all the time. This bluefin phenomenon that we've had the last however many years it's been is kind of what guys are after. And
sure.
Personally, I've never caught one over 100 pounds, so I definitely want to go catch one too.
Yeah.
As many years as I've been doing this, I've
But you've been pulling it over the rail.
I've gaffed a bunch and helped the people, but I've never gone fishing and caught one over 100.
Yeah.
My fiance has, but I haven't.
The thing that's tough, that's making it extra tough right now, is the bluefin that is here. It's so tailor-made for going and get them on the Liberty. It's not necessarily foamers where you cast one popper into it and you hook one.
No.
And it is. I mean, the fish that have been caught by, like you say, by local guys and private boats and things. I mean, it is traditional. Find a school, throw some bait. They stick to you, and you drift, and you
catch
pick them
on
off.
Bait and flat falls.
Yeah.
I mean, Taro working that sonar, would just get on a stop, and that's it. Here we are for the rest of the day. Like, it would be one of those days when you're working in the tackle shop, and then every 2 or 3 hours you hear the radio kick on. Okay, we're up to 20. All right, we're up to 40. We're up to 50. I mean, it's just it would be. Oh man, I'm so ready for this.
Perfect plunker.
Yes,
fishing.
it is.
Yeah,
God, let us go.
And it's only mid-May.
Yes.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Ricky and I got a text this morning from Scott Sherman yesterday. Went fishing on his Parker 25.
Yep.
And got yellowfin tuna within 25 miles of the point.
Yeah, it's just nice ones. I mean,
Nice
not
ones.
5-pounders. I mean,
Yeah.
legitimate 20 to 30 pound yellowfins.
Yeah.
Just nice and close to home. It is shaping up so good. And I mean, it there's no denying it. It sucks. Everybody's ready for this to happen, but it sure feels like it's close to happening. And when it does, it looks like we're going to be very well rewarded with the style of fishing that we're going to have at our hands. But it just does.
The fish are waiting for us.
Yep.
They're hungry.
I think when it finally does happen, at least we're gonna have some good fishing to be after.
No doubt about it. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today with Taro Takeuchi from the Liberty.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. So much to cover and so much great information out there. You stay tuned. It's going to be a great one, and we want to hear from you. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup this morning, clearly going to be a busy show because the phones are already packed full, but we've got a lot of time to get your phone calls in today. Give us a call, 833-288-0973. One more time, 833-288-0973. Not only are we talking Liberty, talking fishing, having a great time today, we are giving away such a killer prize to one lucky caller at the end of the show today. You're going to get to go fishing on the Liberty. We're giving away a full-day trip on board the Liberty out of Fisherman's Landing. And then in addition to your full-day trip on the Liberty, you're also going to win a $50 gift certificate to Point Loma Seafood. So come down after your trip, slide on over, grab yourself a squid sandwich, ready to go. Awesome opportunity. $50 Point Loma Seafoods are open every day, 11 to 6. It's a great opportunity and a great prize. Again, if you want to get your shot at that trip and the certificate, 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
This is Captain Art Taylor of the Searcher. 2020 is the golden anniversary of Cape Polaris and Searcher. Come help us celebrate 50 amazing years in sport fishing. Searcher has a great crew, awesome food, air-conditioned cabins and galley, and an RSW system to preserve your catch. Our 2020 schedule is available now, so this is a golden opportunity to make your reservation online at searchersportfishing.com or call Celia or Callie at 619-226-2403.
Hi there, I'm Hayden from Fast Lane Sailing and Kayaking, Southern California's go-to spot for Hobie fishing kayaks right on the water in Mission Bay. Let me tell you, we have big things going on in the shop this time of year. This November marks the 40th year anniversary of Fast Lane Sailing and Kayaking. And as a family-owned and operated business, my family and I would like to thank all of our friends and customers for the support over the decades. We also have the brand new 2020 model year Hobie fishing kayaks, introducing new features like the automatically retracting kick-up fins, as well as the revolutionary new Mirage Drive 360, which allows you to rotate and steer your Mirage Drive 360 degrees, giving you 100% control over your fishing kayak. Hobie's also released a new line of more economic options, like the new Mirage Passport 10.5 and 12.0, coming in at only $13.99 and $15.99 respectively, while still including the Hobie Mirage Drive with comfortable raised seats and tons of fishing features. Get down to our shop, Fast Lane Sailing and Kayaking, right on the water in Mission Bay, and see it all for yourself. Or check us out online at fastlanekayaking.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking The ranch is small, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time this morning. Phones are already packed up again if you want to get through 833-288-0973. We mention it all the time, but phones are a little bit different when you're calling into Let's Talk Hookup. When the phones are busy, which they are right now, you're not going to get that busy signal. It'll just ring, and then you basically will go into a queue, and sometimes it just stays silent after it's done ringing, but you are for sure in the queue, and then as soon as somebody drops off, your phone call goes right through there. So not being ignored, just a little bit different.
And Dave's running everything in the studio with us. Dave Marcus, sure appreciate him being there. He's running the phones. He's running the board. He's doing everything for us. So just be patient with Dave, and he'll get to you as soon as he can. So in the meantime, let's clear out some of those lines and let's jump into it.
You got it, man. Everybody's stoked to talk to Taro. How about we start it off with Hills? Hills is calling us from Ventura this morning. What's up, Hills? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. I wanted to ask Taro a couple questions. I think these are questions that are, often asked, but one is about hook type, because I'm kind of getting a feeling from people I respect that they prefer a circle hook when you're on tuna, but on yellows, a lot of guys are using J hooks, and I wonder why. And then the other question was on top shots. I remember hearing Ryan Bostian saying how, the San Diego is high off the water, so he really prefers your 100 feet of mono. And I'm wondering if on the Liberty, if Taro goes just a straight, just a piece of fluoro on Spectra or put some mono.
What do you think? Great questions.
Those are great questions. I'll let you know how I rig up my gear. So on tuna smaller than 50 pounds, I personally use a J hook. It's easy, it's easy to pin on the bait, and it's not super necessary to use a circle hook. And 50 pounds and up, I definitely like a circle hook. Mainly because you're going to be on the fish longer. Sometimes you're using a little bit tweakier fishing gear, lighter fishing gear to kind of get that bite, especially with this bluefin tuna. Circle hooks and that all just depends on your bait size too. So I like to bring in a assortment when I try to go catch one, which sometimes doesn't pan out all that well. But circle hooks for anything over 50 pounds. J hooks for anything smaller than 50 pounds. And if you're island fishing, you just use standard Mustad J's. And how I have my gear set up and have our passengers, I would like to see is, you don't really have to go 100 feet because it's kind of sometimes hard to get your bait to swim, but at least 40 to 60 foot of monofilament, and then you can tie on your short, 2 to 3 foot piece of fluorocarbon. But there's also guys that like to fish a longer piece of fluoro, 25 foot, maybe even 30 foot, and that's definitely good too. But the one thing you have to make sure if you're using the shorter top shots is your rod needs to be a little bit spongier than, your standard stiffer fishing poles, just kind of so when the boat does rock and when the fish does shake its head and, does weird things as the bluefin will do, especially when they're close to the boat, you want that rod to give, and you don't want your top shot to shock absorb and break or burst or something like that.
But you like that longer top
I
shot.
kind of go with like at least 40 foot of mono and kind of a short top.
Like the distance you're casting a
the
live
distance
bait.
you're the distance you're gonna cast a live bait. And the kind of general rule of thumb, if you can repeatedly cast without getting a backlash or get pretty good distance, giving your bait a toss without getting a big bird's nest on, your monofilament, then you start to shorten things up and kind of get into your spectra and stuff like that. But practice makes perfect, and I hope everyone's been practicing while they're at home casting.
Absolutely.
I got
plenty of practice in.
Question, maybe going back to the hooks. Last year we had a lot of sardine that was a little bit on the smaller side.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of smaller hooks being used. And I mean, there's no denying how well a smaller hook can get bit better than a bigger one. But when does that become a problem? You know what I mean? Like, sure, if you were fishing a number 4 hook all the time, you're going to get bit like a son of a gun. But, when does a guy have to realize that you're, like right now, you're catching 60 to 100 pounders? Like, when do you make that call? Or is it totally based on bait size? Or, you know what I mean? Like, when does a guy think, well, these are 100 pounders, I can't get away with a number 6? When do you start to make that call?
My kind of feel is when you're drifting there and you've been drifting and you have fish under the boat, and those fish are looking up and they see the chum baits, they see the baits with the hooks, and it's all about getting the reaction out of the fish.
Right.
Whether it's a reaction bite, which is like a 2 to 5 second, 10-second bite, or a super long soak bite, which is probably the competition bite, which is a fish is going to come up and look at your bait, and his buddy fish can't stand him trying to get that bait, so then he's going to go up and get it. And it's all about doing something that we don't obviously sometimes see all the time, but making that fish react. And whether you have a number 4 hook in a really good bait, or a 1-0 or 2-0 hook in that same really good bait, it's the bait that's getting the bite 99% of the time.
Yeah.
I'll
That's a good point.
For like one example is this is when I worked on the American Angler 2005. If you guys remember, that was like the Cowtown. That was a big year in Cowtown.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, we are completely done. The boat's full. Now let's just mess around and have fun. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab 20 pound and just see what the difference is fishing 20 pound or 130 pound. I'm fishing 20 pound, and you would think, oh my gosh, they're boiling on every bait, they're biting. It should be instant. 15 baits it took me to get a bite, and it's just like it took 10 to 15 baits to get a bite on 130 pound. It's just the bait is getting the bite, or it's just the way that fish wants to act at that time. The timing of the fish and your bait in the corner, or the fish and your bait meeting, it's just the timing and the placement and what you're doing.
What somebody should take away from that, what you're saying too, is that don't get frustrated and drop down to super light line and super small because you haven't gotten a bite yet. Just because
Especially
you haven't,
when the big ones are
on. Just because you haven't gotten your bite on 50 pound doesn't mean it's because it's 50 pound. Yeah. Sometimes that's tuna fishing, and that was a perfect analogy. You got to wait for your bait and the fish to meet, and that doesn't always happen on every cast.
If the stars are in a line, it is your time.
Yeah, that's
How
a great
many
call.
times have you been on nice grade fish and seen guys drop down to get a bite, and it doesn't end well?
I'll have to say at the beginning of the year, like right now, when everyone's Jones and I gotta get a bite. And it's a very common occurrence on a full day trip because your time is so limited.
Right.
So it could be the only stop of the day, and we've probably been driving for 9 hours or 6 hours, just to get there. And now you're driving, looking for a school, and this is our one shot. And you have to think about it. That's my one shot to have a fish of a lifetime. I can't screw this up by going light or going small. And, because when you do get that bite, you want to make sure that you get it.
Yes.
So you sticking with your guns, using the proper gear that we recommend, and knowing that when you do get that bite, knowing when your card is called, you're definitely gonna be successful.
There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, let's jump right back into him and talk to Don. He's calling us from Woodland Hills this morning. Hi, Don. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Captain Taro, I just wanted to call in and say hi since we haven't been able to get out on the boat yet. And last year I got a chance to fish with you twice, once on a 2-day charter with Rick Jensen, and then a week later on an open party trip. And I love the boat. You guys are so good, and you're right. 26 of your best friends on a 2-day charter is the way to go. But even on a full boat, everybody was very cooperative. The crew was exceptionally good at working with everybody, and everybody just fishes that boat so well. It was a great experience both times, and I look forward to doing it again.
Awesome, Don. Thank you. We've had some good fishing with you.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Don, thanks a lot for the call.
You mentioned the thing about the crew. Like, I enjoy the crew that you have so much. Like, all of the guys are young and, like, hungry and just freaking fish crazy.
Yes,
like,
they are.
You've got a bunch of weirdos in terms of how much they're into doing that.
Depends on what you call weirdos. If you're like fish hungry, man, I don't know. That's
those
weird
boys,
enough, man.
let me assure you, those boys are on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're talking, see those guys in the dark signing people up, before the trip happens. Taro's lying when he says that boat comes back at 5. I mean, that only happens when they caught limits early. They always come back, putting extra effort in. And then, like, after cleaning the boat, and, when you and I, our arms would be dragging on the rail, like, you'll see them pinning baits on at the dock trying to catch a Corvina at nighttime. I mean, they're on a whole nother level. Like, I get such a kick out of the crew on that boat. Like, they want it, boy. I really like it. Those
guys are great. They're definitely what makes the boat.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
I just drive it, and they're
right. You like
kind
good
of
fishing
if
too,
you think
though.
Of course,
yeah, no question about it. Well, let's head south down to Rancho Leonero. Talk to our good buddy John Ireland's on the line. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Pete. Hello, Rick. Hello,
What's up,
guests.
John?
Well, we got beautiful, beautiful weather on the East Cape. 77, 79-degree water, clear and flat. It's beautiful spring days. Normal for this time of year, and awesome fishing as well. They, there hasn't been any real pressure down there since November. November. So it's been 7 months now. So there's been very, very little fishing, and it's really reflecting in what's going on down there. Just loads of bait in the bay. Sardines washing up on the beach, squids washing up on the beach. There's a lot of good-sized squid, Tootsie Roll size. Lots of sardine, mackerel, just loaded with bait inside. And that's reflecting in the fishing as well. They're catching Dorado off the beach. Actually, off of the lighthouse, they picked up a 50-plus pound yellowfin 2 days ago on 20
off
pound
the beach.
Off the beach, drag a big yellowfin up the sand. Yeah, they picked it up on Mega Bay, local anglers. It's most of the villages are out there fishing now. Not much sport fishing going on. It's the commercial guys. Gabby and Eddie went out yesterday actually, and limited on yellowfin. Nice yellowfin, 20 to 40 pounders. They picked them up on squid about a half mile off Rincon, just a little south of the lighthouse. Lots of striped marlin. Gosh, striped marlin city out there. No pressure at all. So there are lots of jumpers everywhere, and the locals are picking up and feeding the village with them. Basically, they're taking to the beach 2 or 3 more than they normally would in these special circumstances. But lots of striped marlin as well. So very, very good fishing. We're just hot to get back down there and get on them for sure. We're not sure about the opening day. We're getting mixed signals from the government, which is pretty typical of what's going on here in California as well. We should know for sure one way or the other whether we're going to open up June 1st. We're hopeful, but I'm not sure. I'm sure we're going to be able to open sometime in June, but it's kind of up in the air for the first.
Yeah, there's been several dates thrown around: June 1st, June 10th, June 15th.
Oh boy,
but,
I've started with May 20th, and then
yeah,
it's been all over the board. And,
yeah,
and go ahead.
But you'll know next week, most likely, what the real date's going to be for the opening.
Yeah,
eventually,
I'm going to make the call tomorrow. I just, I don't want to throw in the towel quite yet, but it's certainly up in the air at this stage of the game. As soon as we can, we're going to get back rolling. And gosh, if fishing is good as it is and everything, anxious to get back on the water. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the airlines, I know out of San Diego, they're flying back June 1st. They have scheduled flights. You can fly out of Tijuana on Valeris every day, and LAX has flights. So there's flights. It's not a matter of getting down there. It's just a matter of when they're going to allow you to go fishing, right?
Exactly. And, the flights are so darn cheap now. 2 weeks ago, I don't know whether I mentioned, I flew back and forth $29 each way.
on Valeris?
Come on.
Yeah, on Valeris. Just straight into Cabo, nonstop. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's pretty awesome. Well, when we're ready.
Yeah.
So when they're ready, we're coming. Rancho Leonero, how do we get a hold of you, John? Get more information. You want to find out the update about getting down there and going fishing?
Thanks, Pete. It's 800-646-2252 or rancholeonero.com. I'm going to be sending out a letter tomorrow and letting everybody know. So everybody on our mailing list and Facebook, we'll put a notice out for.
Sounds great. We'll forward it on through our Instagram too. Thanks, John. Appreciate that very much. And we'll talk to you hopefully with great news next Saturday, or next Sunday, excuse me, which by the way is hard to believe, Memorial Day weekend next weekend. How about that, huh?
Crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, John, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right. Well, the phones are packed. Everybody's excited to talk to Taro. If you want to get your shot, 833-288-0973. Let's talk to Mike. He's calling us from Chino this morning. Mike, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Rick, Pete, and Taro. How you doing today?
Good morning.
Hey, I got a question, Taro, about your RSW hold. Now, you say that if the bluefin are biting really good offshore and they're good size class fish, and over 50 to 100 pounders, besides your RSW hold to keep the fish fresh and the meat good for sushi, does your crew have the time, or do you guys spike in gill gut, the bigger fish, or?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All of the fish that we catch are bled, and our tuna that are 50 pounds and up are definitely gilling gutted, unless the passenger doesn't want it done. For there's guys that have club things where they want to weigh the whole thing and stuff like that. But we definitely want to gill and gut them so they can cool from the inside out along with the outside in, so that water gets inside their gut pack, or we get the gut pack out, and that water gets inside the cavity of the fish and it cools them, and it definitely provides a great product at the end of the day.
Is that the main reason for getting the guts out? Is just for cooling purposes?
And also, what it does, it gets the majority of the heat out too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you bleed it, or you bleed it before, and then it gets all the blood out, and you definitely can see a difference from everything from tuna to rock cod to calico bass or yellowtail. You're
even bleeding bass and things like that when you.
I like to.
Yeah.
What's the best way to bleed a fish? If you're on a private boat, what's your best methodology?
You can just get a pair. Guys have their pliers or their duck bills or something. Just rip out a gill, or you can just cut it in half, and you don't have to get crazy with it and start hacking away at the fish. But if you just cut a gill in half, and you'll definitely see it starting to come out. Yeah, you just have to see the blood come.
Like you say, it's noticeable on every fish. Even a fish that you would, quote unquote, not need it, like a rockfish, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
When we're fishing in the skiff, we just keep a 5-gallon bucket full of water, and when we catch a red, exactly like Taro says, we got a pair of shears, we just cut a gill raker, and then we just dump them into that bucket, and they kind of bleed out and, maybe stay alive a little bit longer in there and keep the quality super fresh before we throw them in the ice.
The perfect tool for that are those red-handled shears you sell at Fisherman's Landing Tackle.
Those are pretty
Those things work very well for for
those things stay sharp
gills.
a long time.
Yeah, they do, and they're reasonably priced, which is amazing.
Yeah,
too.
$20, and you'll have them for, on a private boat. You'll have them, for the whole season or more. But yeah, they'll reach in. They cut spectra and cut gills. Those things are really nice.
Oh yeah,
watch out for your fingers.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls. We got catch reports coming up. All kinds of great info. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Have you always wanted a boat but don't want all the hassles? Then you need to join Freedom Boat Club, where you get hassle-free boating. Freedom Boat Club buys the boats, you enjoy them, and they do the rest. Freedom Boat Club takes care of the slip fee, maintenance, insurance, and cleaning. You have access to a fleet of great fishing and family boats ready to go in the water at Mission Bay, San Diego Bay, and 190-plus locations across the world. For more information, check freedomboatclub.com or visit them at Dana Landing and Cabrillo Isle Marina.
Hey, it's time for the 30-second Power Pro seminar. Here's the hot tip for those of us that like to fish with small reels for big fish. Fill your spools with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro. That means you're going to get more line on that small reel. Plus, you can fly line your bait more effectively. Here's another tip about Power Pro Max Quattro. Your casting distance will increase in addition to increasing your spool capacity. So downsize your tackle and use Power Pro Max Quattro. Check powerpro.com for more information.
Dana Landing in Mission Bay is truly the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. This is Chelsea. Come see me and our expert fishing staff for just about anything you need for a great day of on-the-water fun. Looking for a fishing charter? Dana Landing has you covered with the Blackjack, perfect for up to 4 anglers, or the Impulse with up to 6. Dana Landing has a huge selection with everything you need to catch small bay bass or giant tuna. We will be sure to set you up with the right gear. We even offer reel repair and Mexican and California fishing licenses. Don't forget the amazing deli at Dana Landing with all the food, ice, and beverages you need to complete your day. Need freshwater tackle? Head to East County Bait and Tackle with all the finest rods and reels, the hottest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has an amazing staff who love to share their passion for fishing. East County Bait and Tackle is located at the end of the 67 freeway on Main Street in Lakeside, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp on San Diego's Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
For your next trip, who needs travel insurance? You do. This is Bob Dawson from Dawson & Associates Insurance Services. We guarantee the lowest prices on all travel insurance plans with 6 companies and 122 different policies. We recommend that you purchase your trip insurance within 14 days of your initial trip deposit to get your money refunded if you have to cancel. These plans will include trip cancellation insurance, medical, medevac, baggage loss, and rental car coverage. Please call me at area code 619-990-3068 or visit us at safariglobaltravel.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Good times this morning talking the Liberty.
Yeah, indeed. With Captain Taro Takeuchi giving away great plays, a trip on the Liberty, as well as a $50 gift certificate to Point Loma Seafoods, the freshest thing in town, right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma. Let's go ahead and jump into those phones.
You got it, man. Tom in University City is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having the show. It's really nice to be talking about fishing. My question is about how to get a bite when a boat first pulls up on a school, either actually separately yellowfin or bluefin or yellowtail. It seems like the first baits in the water when the boat rolls up on a school are often the ones that get bit, but then those lines are also the ones that end up in the big bird's nest at the back of the boat. So I was wondering if Taro could, share some strategy on, when to get the bait in the water, where to be staying on the boat, and how to so that you get the bite but don't get the tangle.
What a good question that is.
That's like
that's the $1 million question.
That is
there.
the $1 million question, and there's definitely pluses and minuses by being the first bait in the water. A couple tricks that I've seen and done myself is maybe try a sinker rig right off the bat, because everyone might be fly lining a bait, and so they might be higher in the water column, and if you have like a sinker rig with if we're fishing bluefin, you have a 4 to 6 ouncer and you might get down, kind of down below the mess, and your angle of your line might kind of keep you out of a mess. It's kind of hard to. Yeah, that's a tough.
Yeah,
that's a tough question.
How do you stay out of it?
Yeah, how do you stay out
Keep
of it?
control under your line, right?
Yeah, just kind of keeping pressure on your line and keeping in touch with your bait. And that's your very first bait is not going to be the bait that you soak for
That's a good call.
for a long time. So 30 seconds to a minute and a half at the most. You start to get in the cluster and you start to see yourself in the middle of the cluster. That's a good indication of being proactive of like, okay, I'm gonna wind
Time to
up,
get out.
switch out my bait, and I'm gonna take advantage of my time because, like I was saying, if you have two ways of getting a bite, it's a reaction bite or a competition bite, and most of the time, if you don't get a bite within the first 30 seconds to a minute and a half, you probably want to switch out your bait and get then get a better bait too.
Boy, that's a good call there.
Yeah,
it's soak that first bait just a real short time and then get out and start all over again.
And then you want to put yourself in a situation too that when you do get a bite, you want to keep yourself out of a mess and increase your chances of not being in a mess. So you put yourself in a part of the boat, which is hard to say where that is right off the bat because you really don't know if the captain's going to spin left or if he's going to spin right. But by kind of just waiting for 5 to 10 seconds and feeling where that wind is coming from or looking to see which way the boat turns, that's kind of my thing is I'll just wait and see where things are going to happen and not happen.
And then be ready to
and then kind of be ready for when they start to come at you. You know, because the way that we set up or the way that I set up with the boat is I'll lead the fish so the fish will go through you once everyone gets their baits in water because everyone's not going to get their bait in at, right off the bat. And we really don't encourage that either. Mainly because on our boat, we have anywhere from 40 to 60 people at a time, and you let everybody go in at the same time, and that might be your one shot of the day, and now you're fighting a big tangle versus fighting fish. So we kind of encourage everybody to wait until the boat gets completely stopped, so that now there's an equal playing field for everybody to get spread out, and it increases your chances. But if you're the super aggressive guy that wants to go in right off the bat, maybe try a sinker rig if we're for bluefin fishing, a sinker rig or a flat fall to get down below the guys. And the same thing when we're fishing at the islands, maybe try a yo-yo jig or just kind of wait 5 to 10 seconds for the boat to get stopped.
As you become more savvy fishing your bait on a sport boat too, when you start out, you struggle feeling your bait, knowing where you are, and then as you become more proficient and do more trips and you start to know where you are, it becomes equally important to know where the guy standing next to you is. If you can avoid a situation before it starts, you're going to be fishing clean way more often. Whether that means you're pulling on one and he's pulling on one and you see his fish start to come to you, so you start to make the move, or it's before you get a bite. If you can, being aware of what the guy next to you is doing can be equally as important to you. As you start to get a good handle on, well, this guy's bait is, not moving a whole lot and there's a lot of slack in the line. I better just, even though your bait might be clean-ish and out in front of you, boy, if you just wind this thing up and go get another one and cast out again, you're going to stay clean the whole time rather than get yourself into a tangle that might take you another, couple of minutes to get out of.
And it's increasing your chances with a high percentage presentation. You've been soaking your bait for 5 minutes. Yes, you're fishing, but are you fishing with a good bait?
Right.
Versus in those 5 minutes, have you had switched your bait out every 10 to 20 seconds, which oftentimes you see crews and captains do, and now you're fishing for 5 minutes with maybe 30 baits, high percentage baits, and getting those reaction bites. And that was a lot with our yellowfin tuna fishing. It was real reaction bite based, and it's like, okay, change your bait every 10 to 30 seconds at the most, and don't fish it for that long.
And that was the way to get.
And that kind of was the way to get bites during certain parts of the stop because now the fish have been stuck with you for a long time, and now they're just looking at every bait and. You have to trick them.
That's what's important. Listen to the crew.
Yeah.
They've been out there every day. They know what's going on. And if they say change your baits every 30 seconds, change your baits every 30 seconds.
Every one of us that has been tuna fishing a couple of times has had a bait where when you put it in the water, you instantly, this thing's going to get a bite. I mean, we all know what that feeling is.
Phelps.
Yeah, you pin the bait on it, hits the water and takes off, and you look at your buddy like, this thing's going to get a bite, guaranteed. Sometimes you just have to keep going through them until you get that one. I mean, you know the one that's going to get a bite the second it hits the water. Like that, at some point, this thing is going to swim right by one. Like, I know this bait's getting bite. And sometimes that's just how it is. You got to keep burning through them until you get that one. Like, you know when you know. Like, you know the bait, the one that's going to get a bite.
It's a good one. Yeah, for sure. Hey, good question. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. You said something, Taro, about spinning the boat. Which way you're going to go, port or starboard? It's not the same every time?
It's not the same every time.
Okay.
You know,
so if you're standing by the starboard side, it's like, okay, I'm knowing he's going to turn starboard side. You could get totally fooled,
You could get totally fooled because on the clip of that sonar, the school's on the left side of the boat now.
Okay, so that's what determines it.
Yeah, it definitely determines that, and it determines there's so many factors.
Yeah,
you know, there could be the school shows up on the right side of the screen, but now the wind's blowing on the right side, so now we have to kind of maneuver the boat to set up on the left side. So there's definitely factors. The school could be running, and we have to chase it down, and there's so many factors that passengers don't see. I wish I could have a sonar screen pinned up in the galley so everyone can watch it and kind of see what goes on, but you just have to be ready, and
every school is different.
You just have to be aware of your surroundings and kind of get a feel.
Do you ever have a school that, like, okay, we're going to set up on the port side, and then all of a sudden the stuff moves to the starboard side?
Oh, Bluefin do that all the time. All the time. Yeah, they are the master of just showing up here and Houdini and they're over there now, and just they are the master of that. And definitely those island fish too, those freaking yellowtails will just show up, and you know, the pressured fish kind of seem to be a little bit more weird, like kind of a little more skittish and weird. But I would say all fish will kind of do that, but bluefin are the masters.
Masters at that.
It makes you feel so good when you get them, though.
Oh,
like,
it does.
You have a day where I got you, sucker.
And that's why it hurts so much right now, because guys are getting them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, time for the catch report.
You got it, dude. Let's find out what's biting out there. Today, the catch report sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Bring your private boat caught fish to Fisherman's Processing and give it the treatment it deserves. Drop your fish off between 8 and noon. You catch, they process. Let the experts fillet and vacuum pack your fish into their perfect table-ready portions. Fish Pros, the market, is also open right now during all of this. They offer their killer fresh fish, smoked and jerkied fish, spices, rubbed, smoked cheese, and their famous tuna burgers. I saw a social media post from Fish Pros yesterday of a beautiful white sea bass that they had just got from one of their commercial fishermen, and that fish was immediately going into the case, so that looked like a really good piece if you're out there. I think that was yesterday, so a good opportunity to get a fresh piece of sea bass. You can see them at their Liberty Station location or order online at fishermansprocessing.com. With that, we're going to start it off with our surf guru, Gundy Gunderson's on the line. Gundy, what's going on in the surf?
How you guys doing?
Doing great, buddy. Good morning.
You know, you mentioned the white sea bass. I know the divers starting to gig a few, and then we had a bunch in our reports of the smaller models, you know, in the shallows. So it's definitely time to start thinking that way.
Time of the year.
Yeah, the Highliner though, Pete, it's a terrific halibut fishing, and it's just nice to have all the beaches open now. The LA County beaches are opening now this week, so we're just getting a trickle of reports, but up and down the coast, the guys are at it, and they're catching halibut. Excellent week of fishing, lots of stuff happening. The halibut fishing's been good, like I said. A lot of fish in the shallows, probably the grunion drawing that. In the bays and the lagoons, the fishing has been good for the halibut, too. The calico bass have been active in the shallows on the reef beaches with rock and kelp, that kind of thing. And then, like I said, schools of white sea bass showing in the shallows. Also, some really warm water on the beaches, up to 70, 71. So sand crabs are showing, and lots of guys spotting the Corbina. Not really putting a hook to them yet, but they're there, so it's just a matter of time. Hook, line, sinker report, good halibut action on most of the beaches. Goleta, East Beach, Gaviota, Graveyards, top spots there. Drop shot, zoom, flukes, flash minnows, cut anchovies been the top bait. Big fish in Seal Beach reported excellent halibut fishing all week. Cherry Beach, shoreline dry, that little stretch has been really good, and that's always good when the grunion are running. Sunset Beach, and then that Bolsa Chica inlet, all kicking out legal fish. I think a 32-inch fish was the top fish there. And then they're also seeing some juvenile white sea bass in the shallows. Pacific Coast down North County, they reported excellent halibut action. One of the guys in the shop caught and released 4 fish this week. 30 inches was the biggest one, all on the beach, all legal. And they're seeing them in the lagoons. The metallic sardine, flash minnow has been one of the hot baits there. And then they're also reporting on the reach beaches, excellent calico bass fishing with a mix of that short to maybe just legal white sea bass. So things are really getting fishy. I think all these grunion runs are starting to stack up, and there's a lot of fish in the shallows and good condition. Plus, we're getting coverage. We're getting anglers out there. And I'm happy, Pete. We're getting back to normal, and I love it.
Well, I wouldn't call it. It's kind of the new normal, maybe. yeah, but it's definitely grunion time. We heard Corey Sandin talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, that was great.
That grunion makes a difference for sure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And even I don't talk about it much, but some of the old timers used to get in on those grunion runs and freeze them, and take them and put them in a gallon plastic bag. And then I tell you, you fish those things dead, they are darn good, as good as anything you're going to put out there for bait. So that's something to think about too.
All right, time to collect
call.
them up.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, Gundy Gunderson, Surf Guru Extraordinaire, thanks a lot for that report, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
You guys have a good week and get after it.
See, Gundy. Appreciate that very much. All right. Hey, it's going to wrap up our catch report. Want to remind you, Gamakatsu, they set out to develop a hook that was light enough for your live bait to swim naturally, yet strong enough to handle your next trophy bluefin or yellowfin. The answer? The Gamakatsu Nautilus Heavy Duty. The Gamakatsu Nautilus HD is available with a solid ring or as a standard hook. Get the Gamakatsu Nautilus hooks at your favorite tackle shop.
Indeed. All right, phones are packed. Let's jump into it.
You got it. Let's talk to Dan. Dan's calling us from El Cajon this morning. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, and thank you so much for having the show. Pete and Rick, I listen to you every weekend, and it's just a blessing.
Thank you.
Taro, I was on your ship last year, and you run a class act there. I had hooked into something, and I had a couple rookies that kept trying to get me tangled up, and you happened to come down and had everybody weaving and bobbing, and next thing I know, I looked down at my Tranx 400, and this fish almost had me spooled, and so I started trying to get it in, and I must have caught its teeth or something, but he broke off, and I lost it after 40 minutes of fighting it, and the look on your face was just priceless. It was like you had the fish and you lost it. But, with all that said, what pound test would you be recommending once this opens up and we get out there again?
I would definitely have an assortment of fishing gear, mainly because we're going to be searching and looking, and you could run into everything, just like how we were talking about, from 25-pound yellowfin tuna to 100-pound plus bluefin. So I would definitely bring an assortment of rods. Have a lighter bait rod, like a 25 or 30-pound bait setup, so you could fish some of the smaller fish if we see smaller size tuna or kelp size yellowtail. And for your bluefin, I definitely have a 40, 50, or 60-pound setup, if not all of them. Your fly line setups would be 40, 50 pound, and maybe even 60 pound, just depending on the size of the fish. And you can even have a 60 or 80 pound flat fall setup, or a sinker rig setup for your heavy gear. So I would definitely bring an assortment of gear. And if you don't have it, Fisherman's Landing does rent it, so it's not something you need to go and spend a whole bunch spend a whole bunch of money in buying. And if you're not sure, you could always just message us too on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll try to get back with you and go over tackle with you, which I've been doing during this time with passengers and stuff like that. So
yeah. So what's the best way to get a hold of you, Taro?
On Facebook or Instagram, you can just look up Liberty Sport Fishing, and then our boat will pop up and message us there.
And then you also have a Gmail account too,
yes,
right?
Liberty Sport Fishing SD at Gmail.
Liberty Sport Fishing SD at Gmail, and you'll respond to those.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including another full hour of your phone calls. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
For over 5 decades, Lee Palm Sport Fishing has set the standard in long-range fishing that they pioneered long ago. The Red Rooster 3 sets a new standard of excellence. The Red Rooster 3 is one of the most modern, quiet, and fastest long-range vessels in the fleet. They have handpicked the finest crew to make your trip a memorable one. The Red Rooster 3 offers trips from 3 to 18 days and runs year-round to the best fishing spots on the planet. Ride the Red Rooster 3 once and you'll be back again. Call the Red Rooster 3 at 619-224-3857 or see them on the web at redrooster3.com. Fifth Avenue Insurance has a new name. It's Snap Insurance, still providing anglers and boaters with the best in boat insurance and the lowest rates. The experts at Snap Insurance will make sure your boat and property are covered right. Traveling to Mexico? Snap has you covered. You can even work with your agent to wrap your home and auto with your boat policy to save even more. Call them for advice on your current boat policy or any of your insurance needs. Snap Insurance, 800-527-6617 or snapins.com. That's SNAPPINS.com.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Shimano has done it again. An amazing lever drag 2-speed reel at an affordable price. It's Speedmaster 2, the extremely durable, high-performance Speedmaster 2 with high maximum drag power and a smooth, ultra-wide range of drag adjustability is an absolute fish-fighting machine. Its rigid hogany body prevents misalignment of moving parts under the heaviest loads. Plus, a spare drag cam is included for optimal use with monofilament lines. The Speedmaster is now available in 4 models, 12, 16, 20, and 25. This is the perfect reel for the angler looking for a powerful, lightweight, smooth casting reel for tuna or other powerful saltwater game fish at more affordable price. Nothing in its class can match the Shimano Speedmaster 2, built to provide high-end performance and durability in a compact, lightweight frame. Get the Shimano Speedmaster 2 lever drag reel at your local Shimano dealer. Check Shimano.com for all the details.